Now available in paperback and coming to Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, Dark Succubus. The man who rules the world is tempted by a sultry succubus in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Dark Succubus in paperback or pre-order on Kindle Unlimited today. One of the things I'm thinking about doing in 2020 is attending a Comic-Con or a show as a vendor. And what has me thinking about doing a Comic-Con and a show as a vendor is the extremely positive response I have received when I attended the Black Sci-Fi Con at the Schomburg Library in Harlem, and when I went to meet Chris L. Brown, the creator of Omega Black, at Anime NYC. And after meeting several of my viewers at the Black Sci-Fi Con at the Schomburg and meeting some of my viewers at Anime NYC, I am starting to feel encouraged about returning to do shows after being out for 8 years. Now, what has me motivated is that I am starting to see, again, I'm meeting a lot of my audience at these shows, and I also got an offer to do a Goth show out in New Jersey, and the Goth subculture was the first to invite me to do a show, but I couldn't do the show because I was working on a project called Eternal Night, and I didn't have my books ready to be shipped to me because it takes time to print books and it takes time to get them shipped, and I would need to find transportation to bring those books all the way to a location like New Jersey. But I'm not ready to do a show out of state just yet, but I am considering doing a show in state in order to meet and reach a larger audience of readers and get more exposure for SJS Direct publications like the Isis series, which features the Goddess Next Door, the Esteem series, which features Hell's Aspiring Angel, and the John Haynes series, which features the man who rules the world. And I also think that there might be a possible audience for books like the Spinsterella trilogy at Comic-Cons, since many Goths go to Comic-Con. So I'm thinking that there is a great opportunity for me to reach a larger audience if I go to a Comic-Con here in New York City. Now, the things that have kept me from doing Comic-Cons over the last 8 years primarily have been cost, because I have been out of work for such a long time. However, these days, I believe I could raise enough funds to pay for a table via Patreon or PayPal, or if there was someone at the con who would be willing to offer me a table as related to making an appearance, because some people say with 11,000 subscribers that I could be able to get that sort of type of deal where they would give me a table or something to do a panel in exchange, and that would be something I would consider doing if I could get that type of deal. Now, that would be something that would motivate me to do a show because the cost would be cut down, and that's another thing, again, in addition to the being out of work and not being able to afford doing one of these shows, because these shows are very expensive and tables are very expensive. Because, and I was doing research on New York Comic Con, this was about 10 years ago, back in 2008, the table back then was $900, and these days I believe it's about $2,000, and admission to New York Comic Con is $100. It's really expensive to do a big show like New York Comic Con, but even though you could recoup the cost with the exposure you get for your publications, it's just a lot of cost, and if you just don't have the money, then you can't do that type of show. Now, I've looked at smaller shows, and the table cost for one of those shows was $600 for a 6x9 table, 6 feet by 9 feet. And again, that's very expensive for a Comic-Con. But I believe that it could possibly be worth the risk to take to do one of these shows to get that exposure for SJS Direct publications, because I'm starting to see the audience there for the books, And I believe the incentives of getting an autographed copy or getting a deal on a set of series books like John Haynes, if I was to give you all 3 or 4 John Haynes series books at a con exclusive price, I believe these are things that would make it financially viable for me to consider doing a show at a Comic-Con, because it's something, again, cost is something that has kept me out of doing Comic-Cons, but I am, again, encouraged to do Comic-Cons because I see the audience there, I see the audience growing, and I see people who are enthusiastic about African American fantasy and science fiction, and I would like to go to one of the Comic-Cons to promote SJS Direct books and meet many of my viewers who watch my videos on the regular and offer them an opportunity to get the books straight from me. So that's something that I really am considering, and it's something that I would love to do in 2020 in New York City. It's something that I am looking into very, very, very feverishly because it's something that I do want to do, because I really want to get back out there, because I believe you can only go but so far with social media, and that you have to eventually step out from behind the computer screen and go out into the real world and make efforts to sell to readers in the real world. That's what I believe I'm going to have to do if I want to take SJS Direct to the next level, is I'm going to have to leave this bedroom and leave this making videos at YouTube and go out into the Comic-Cons and meet the fans and meet the readers out here and reach out to new readers and explain why they need to pick up SJS Direct publications. And I believe I have to take that risk because there's only, so far you can go on social media. Yes, you meet people all over the world, but people in the real world, they need to see somebody face to face. They need to touch the product. They need to connect with the product. And I believe that's the next step in moving the SJS Direct imprint forward. So that's something that I want to do. I believe I've learned a lot from the mistakes I made back in 2009 and 2010 at the Harlem Book Fair, where I wound up losing over $1,400 over both years, $700 each year, trying to promote my earlier titles. And I believe that I have learned enough to move back to going out to do shows again, because when I did the Harlem Book Fair, I didn't have the catalog that I have right now. I didn't have the quality covers by artists like Bill Walko and Mike Williams and Josh Howard, and the Spinsterella cover. I didn't have material like that that was really strong, and I didn't have, again, the marketing not savvy that I have right now. So I want to give it a try and see if I can get out here and move more units at one of these shows. But again, it's all about the cost. And again, it takes money to go out here and get the table. It takes money to get these books printed, and I have to see a return on the investment to really think about doing these on the regular. But I really want to just test the waters and see if I can get an audience on SJS Direct books at one of these cons or one of these shows, and see if people are interested in buying SJS Direct publications on the regular. Now, until I can get to the Comic-Cons, I need everybody to go out here and pick up the books of the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the Spinsterella trilogy. And I'm hoping that one day I will be able to do one of these shows, because I tried to contact the people at the Schomburg when they had the Black Sci-Fi Con, because I wanted to do the next one, and I would love to do a show in 2020. That's one of the things I'm really thinking about doing, and it's one of the things I am putting on my to-do list, and I'm hoping that I can do one of these shows, and I'm hoping that I can meet more of my readers and my viewers at these shows and be able to build a stronger relationship with my audience. Again, you can find all of those great books in the SJS Direct imprint, from the ISIS series the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, the Spinsterella trilogy, and even my men's issues books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read many titles in the SJS Direct imprint for free. And if you want to help me work towards the goal of getting to one of those cons, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.